I want to present about how to adapt to changes in the external environment. In today's rapidly evolving external environment, the ability of leaders to adapt to changes is crucial for the success of an organization. These changes can be such as a change in the global economy, technological advancements, most recently, a global pandemic, COVID-19. All of these changes have led to a constantly changing workplace. As a result, leaders must apply the strategies and leadership styles required and needed to navigate through these changes effectively. That's why I chose this title for my presentation, Lead or Let Die. And I wanted to make it sticky, that way you can remember easily what this presentation is going to be about. And also because, yeah, you got me, I'm a Beatles fan. Are there any Beatles fans here? No? A few? Okay. Yeah, well that's why. Live and let die. But before we begin, let's talk about some examples of why adapting to changes is very important for the organizations to stay open and don't close. Here are some examples. Kodak was a very popular brand during the 90s and the mid-2000s. I don't know about you, but I used to have a camera when I was a kid where I would take pictures and all of that. And most of my family have a Kodak. My grandparents, my dad, my mom, even my sister. But what happened to Kodak? And you may be wondering, are they still in business in 2023? The answer is yes, but it's just a small portion of what it used to be. So you might be wondering, what happened to Kodak? Well, Kodak's failure was a result of its inability to adapt to changing market conditions. These changes reflect the lack of innovation of Kodak, where in the mid-2000s, most of its competitors shifted from camera roll to a digital camera, so Kodak was left behind. Our next example is Blockbuster. Here, you were able to rent video games, movies, CDs, and have a very good family time. I loved going to Blockbusters when I was a kid, and to be honest, I was a little sad when they said that they were going to shut down. But why did they shut down? Well, because they were lacking in adapting to changes of the environment. And these changes were mostly created by its mostly competitor that at that time it wasn't as big as it is today, and I'm talking about Netflix. And it's crazy to think that Blockbuster had a chance to buy Netflix back in the day, but they thought, yeah, I don't think this business is gonna take place or take over the current business, so nah. But now, let's see who's still in business today? Netflix. And Netflix is one of the biggest streaming services in the world. Our next example is Nokia. Nokia was very popular back in the day. Actually, my first cell phone was a Nokia. What happened to Nokia is that they were lacking in innovation and the development of new products. And this happened mostly because of the introduction of the iPhone. With the software of Apple, Nokia didn't have a software back in the day, and they were still making these cell phones like this design, where you will find also the iPhone. That's why many of its competitors, such as LG, Samsung, changed it to the smartphone, while Nokia didn't do very well in that regard. That's why it's lacking even today. Our most current example of a change in the external environment is the pandemic of COVID-19, where it changed everything, workplace, globally, and culture, I would say. After COVID, 90% of US employees with office jobs are not hoping for the old workplace to return, since they found out that they can do their job from home more effectively, spending more time with their families, relieving stress, and let's be honest, you don't have to deal with people or coworkers that you don't like. After seeing all those examples, now we're going to focus on how to avoid dying when adapting to changes. So now I'm going to show you some ways that you can be successful with your organization when adapting to changes in the external environment. Our first way to adapt to changes in the external environment is communication. Communication is key for the success of an organization. The leader has to make sure that the message or the goals that he sets for the organization are clear for everybody. So that's why the message has to be clear, with no noise between the sender and the decoder, and the message has to be sticky as well. And you may be wondering, how can you make it sticky? Well, leaders must have an executive voice to make it sticky. What's executive voice? Well, this means be as transparent as you can be consistent with that transparency, be in control during hard times. The leader has to be a visionary, open to suggestions, innovation, new ideas, bring solutions to problems, and cultivate relationships to have a community of trust. Trust is very important when it comes to communication. Trust can be built by demonstrating empathy and understanding the needs of your employees. This will create a sense of community among employees and will lead employees to share ideas on how to solve problems and cooperate together between departments to achieve organizational goals. By having a good communication between employees and the leader can expect the employees to increase performance, because employees will feel that someone is caring for them, like they have a voice within the organization, that their ideas are listened by the leader. And this could lead to improvements of new technologies, innovations, and maybe the development of new products by having this community within the organization. Next, we have a leadership style called shared leadership, which is based on the new power. And you might be wondering, what is new power? Well, let me explain. New power is made by many, open and participatory, which means everybody is involved, and it's flexible and it's bottom up. Basically, with new power, everybody has the power within the organization. The power doesn't rest on the top of the organization. Instead, it's spread all over the organization. With that out of the way, what is shared leadership? Well, shared leadership is how the leader shares his power with his followers. There is no centralized power, as I already said. Under shared leadership, the leader follows the process of empowering workers and encouraging them to take on responsibilities, like leadership responsibilities. So basically, with shared leadership, you will develop leaders at the end of the process. And this contributes to the well-being of either the followers and also the organization. Also, under shared leadership, there is something called leadership mapping, which helps the leader identify which members of the team are most likely to become leaders based on their skills and their level of commitment within the organization and the teams. As you can see, shared leadership helps you develop leaders in the future within your team. Shared leadership also helps to improve performance, because by allowing your workers to share their ideas to solve coming problems, solve problems or new problems, this allows efficiency within the company. This also encourages them to be innovative. And what happens when you have employees that are innovative? You have an organization that is innovative as well, such as Apple or Google. By applying shared leadership within an organization, the leader can be sure that their employees are capable enough when it comes to facing a change in the external environment. Because based on their skills and the capabilities of its team, they will be able to take on challenges, and employees are capable enough when it comes to face a change in the environment. Because the leader, by applying this, it's going to allow employees to take on leadership positions or leadership decisions. That will also not only create new leaders within the organization by making employees become leaders, but also increase their performance and increase their level of skills of the workers. Next, we have Theory Y and Theory X workers. It is very important for a leader to identify what type of worker they have within the organization, and also identify what type of worker they need to fit the needs of the organization. Now, Theory X workers are lazy, only work for the money, and must be controlled. Theory Y workers are self-directed, and they work because they like what they do. So for the job of the leader here is to approach differently to those X or Y workers depending on their characteristics. That way, the leader can ensure that each of them are motivated based on their needs. That way, there will be an increase in performance and innovation. With all of this together, the leader can ensure that their team, whether it's Theory Y or Theory X, are ready to face the change, if there is any change in the external environment. Lastly, we have the leader-member exchange theory, or LMX theory. This theory emphasizes or is based on the relationship between the leader and the worker. There are 4 types of relationships that can occur during this leadership style. First, we have contribution, loyalty, affect, and professional respect. We also have 2 groups within this theory, in-group and out-group. The in-group are those who are already on professional respect, and out-group are the ones that are stuck in contribution. The job of the leader is to make those that are feeling out-group, to make them feel in-group by providing resources, support, and effort. And based on the level of effort, resources, and support, will determine how obligated the follower is to reciprocate the leader. Relationships will increase the level of performance in the long run. With this, the leader can exploit the relationships that they already have, and also take a look in those areas of relationships that there might be lacking. That way he will have more in-group members than out-group members, and those in-group members are more likely to reciprocate to the leader, aka they will follow the leader more, and also they will also contribute to the company or the organization in terms of, like, let's say, giving new ideas such as the new power, the different leadership styles such as the LMX theory and the shared leadership, and empowering workers will ensure a safer and softer transition when it comes to a change in the external environment. That's with all of this, the leader can make sure that their team is capable and is ready when it comes to a change. That way, they can face whatever change it might be. Also, the employers will share feedback. Overall, this will create a stronger organization with capable members that can take on leadership positions, create new leaders, good communication, trust, transparency, and empowering workers that can take on challenges such as changes in the external environment or even changes in the work environment. By providing leaders with the resources, these together will create a stronger organization with members that can take on leadership positions, create new leaders, build trust, reciprocate to the leader, and whatever the challenge might be, they can face it even if there is a change in the external environment. Thank you.